Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is Story Saturday. Now, once a week, I want to share a story with you about my life or about different things. But today, I want to share a story about when I came to the United States from Cuba. I was 11 years old, 11 and a half, and I remember my father was picking me up from the dentist, and he decided to pick us up and bring us home early because the next day we were getting on a plane and flying to Spain. And so he was excited, but more importantly, he didn't want us to say anything in school for fear that they may stop us or they may change their minds, because in Cuba there was different politics at the time where it could be revoked. And so my father had been waiting 10 years for the visa. And finally, that moment had come. So we're at the dentist, myself and I believe my sister, my younger one, Gladys. And so he comes and picks us up, and I wasn't even done. And he tells the dentist, okay, we got to go. So we go, and he doesn't want to talk until we get home. And finally, we get into this little apartment, and he tells us, tomorrow you're not going to school. The moment we wake up, everything is packed. We're going to the airport. We're leaving the country. And I was like, but what about my friends? Oh no. And at the same time, I'm excited to go because I had heard so much from my aunts who wrote letters, and my mother would read them to us, and she would always give us stories about how the U.S. was and how awesome it would be and all of that. So my level of excitement was very high. My expectation was amazing. And so here comes the next day. We wake up and we go to the airport. Hours of waiting in the airport. Family looking at you from a glass, behind the glass, looking towards where we were waiting. And then the moment comes, the moment to board the plane. That was painful, to leave your family behind, board on this plane, and leave your country. I mean, in my mind, everything was going on. What's going to happen? Why do we have to leave my family behind? I don't understand what's going on. I know I'm excited, but what about them? I'm leaving them behind. And what's going to be for us? How's our new life going to be? Anyway, saying goodbye was pretty hard. I remember my cousins crying, and I see them tearing, and remember my aunts, my uncles, and the waving of goodbyes, and my mother crying, and my father didn't really show much emotions, but I know he was feeling the detachment. I know he was feeling it. And so we get on this plane, and we're sitting on the plane, and I'm looking outside by the window, and there's really nothing to stare, just to the distant horizon there by the plane. And I couldn't stop thinking about how's it gonna be without my family. But then you're gonna meet new family. But then you're going to go to Spain. There's really no family there. So how is it going to be? And so I remember I'm sitting next to my two sisters, and we're just looking at each other, and I'm wondering, how's it going to be? And finally, the plane begins to start the engine and moving, and next thing you know, we're taking off. And I remember looking out the window, and I remember that feeling of leaving behind, the feeling of letting go. And I remember on that plane, looking out that window, seeing how my country kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller until finally you couldn't see anything. And I remember just tearing, not saying anything, but just crying and crying, like tears just kept falling out of my eyes, and just thinking about will I ever, ever come back? What will I do if I ever went back? Would I ever come back? Because Cuba being communist, at the time that we left, no one was allowed in. That was in 1976, I believe. And no one was allowed in. Anyway, that plane ride to Spain was pretty awesome with my whole family. Quickly, you know how kids forget things. They dazzled us with food and good times and good stories and how awesome it's going to be in Spain. And of course, you get excited about a new place and new thing. You ever felt like that? The excitement of a new thing, right? Sometimes I wish I was like a kid again, to get excited about new things, get excited about little things, right? Just get excited, right? Sometimes we get old and older and we lose that. Well, I think it's important to find that again, to become excited about something. Life is beautiful. Find something you get excited about again. Remember that childhood feeling. You know, even though the body may get old, you should keep a young spirit. You should keep excited about life. Even if you're going through problems and troubles and situations and all of that. Now, being in Spain wasn't easy either, but that's another story. Today, I just want to let you know that find something to be excited about. Find that one thing, man, or two or three, and get excited. And life is beautiful. And you will see you live life with that power. Hey, until next time, this is JDC, and I'll talk to you next Saturday with another Story Saturday.